Here's- Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us, and a special hello to all the kids out there who are tuning in this afternoon. As everybody knows, at 1 o'clock every day, I have had a press conference to keep everybody informed about the coronavirus. And as I've said every day, this is the best place to get your information because there's a lot of crazy stuff being said out there, flying around social media. It's not all true. And if you tune in here at 1 o'clock, everything you hear is true and specific to what's going on in Rhode Island. About a week ago, I announced that today we were going to do something special, which was spend the whole time focused on kids and kids' questions. And when I announced that, I wasn't really sure if any of you guys would write in or how curious you were. And within about 3 days, we had over 13,000 questions from kids all over Rhode Island, from kids from preschool right up to 12th grade. And they're awesome questions. I took time last night and I went through every one of them. You guys are smart and curious and creative, and I appreciate you reaching out. Some of you I know don't want to give us your name or your school, and I think that's fine, you know, and we're not ever going to reveal if you don't want us to, that your question is from you. But I do want you to keep sending your questions, and we're going to continue to figure out how to answer them. Today, I brought in a very special guest, my husband, Andy Moffett, because we're dealing with the same stuff in our family that a lot of you guys are dealing with. And every night, Andy and I spend some time with our 2 kids trying to answer their questions. And sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's not so easy. So
That's true.
Today, I thought that I would bring in Andy. He's going to ask me the questions that you guys sent in, and I'm going to do my very best to answer as many as we can. A few thoughts before we get going with the questions. First of all, on Monday, Dr. Nicole Alexander Scott is going to have an online question and answer session, and she's going to really focus on a lot of the great science questions that you guys asked. I'm not really qualified. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so on Monday, she's going to answer all the science, biology, and healthcare medical questions that you have. Second thing is, I know we've been at this distance learning now for 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks. I have to tell you, I think you're amazing. Now, when I said we would do this, we were the first state in the country to give it a try. Most other places said, cancel school for 2 months, cancel school for the rest of the year. And we said, no, we're going to give this a try. And you guys are hitting the cover off the ball. It's not perfect. We know in our own house there are plenty of glitches, but you're doing it, and you're doing a great job of it. And some learning is better than no learning. In the month of April, I want everybody reading every day. That's my challenge to you, the April reading challenge. Read, read, read. That's key. The second thing is just hang in there with us. There's going to be times you get frustrated, the computer won't work, you wish your teacher would do it a different way. Just hang in there. Be a little patient, and it's going to get better as we go. Special thank you to teachers. I'm going to ask you to hang in there too. You're doing a fantastic job, and I'm deeply grateful for your collaboration and willingness to do it differently. One more thing. I want to acknowledge that this is kind of a weird time, and everybody every day is going through a range of emotions. Sometimes you might be happy, sometimes you might be kind of enjoying not having to go to school, but sometimes you might be scared or confused or frustrated, disappointed, angry, sad. And I want you to know that that's totally normal. It's how I feel every day. Through different parts of the day, sometimes I feel great, sometimes I feel overwhelmed, sometimes I'm worried. How are we going to do all this? How are we going to get through this? That's all totally normal. and there's going to be lots of ups and downs. But here's what I do know. I know this isn't going to last forever. I know we have so many people right now, doctors, nurses, teachers, professionals, therapists, social workers, moms and dads, who are there to help you guys. And we are going to get you through it. Doesn't mean it'll be easy, doesn't mean there won't be some rough patches, but there's more people than you realize who are on your team and on your side and ready to help you. And I also know it's important to reach out for help. Don't be embarrassed if you need help. Don't be embarrassed if you feel sad, scared, or weak. Find somebody to talk to. Talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your friend, talk to your teacher, because you don't want to be alone. You have to be stuck at home, but you don't have to be alone. And to that end, I want to announce a very special initiative that we've worked hard to get up and running, which is an expansion of something called Kids Link. Kids Link is a fantastic initiative run out of a great team at Bradley Hospital, and my office and that team have been working together to expand Kids Link. And I want to give you the number. The number is 855-543-5465. We have anyone can call that if you need help, if you need access to a therapist, if you're feeling scared, you think you might hurt yourself. Call us. We want to give you a hand, and then Kids Link will connect you with somebody who can help you get through it.
Gina, what's the number again?
It is 855-543-5465. Okay, so over to you for the tough questions.
Well, thank you, Gina. It's nice to be here. I feel like we're talk show hosts today. It's nice to be, actually, it's nice to be on this side. I'm home typically with all of you and our kids viewing this 1 o'clock. It is what they used to call Thursday night on NBC. This is must-see TV. You're doing a wonderful service, everybody here. And a big shout out to all the parents and family members and everyone else at home who is managing to keep everything going, whether it's continuing to work, making sure your kids are continuing to learn, taking care of family members. It's really an impressive thing that Rhode Islanders taking care of one another. All right, so let me start with the questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Ethan, a kindergartner in Smithfield, of all places.
My hometown.
Hometown of Gina Raimondo. What can kids do to help out during this time?
Thank you, Ethan. Thanks for writing in. It's a great question. So the most important thing you can do is wash your hands. Wash your hands constantly for 30 seconds at a time. That's a long time, by the way. I want you to count 30 seconds, and I want you to do it all day long. Second thing is try extra hard to do what your parents tell you, what I'm telling you to do, and what your teachers are telling you to do. And I know that's not always easy. I've been a kid myself, and I have kids, but we're all kind of stretched right now, and it's a hard time for everybody. So if you can try a little extra hard to follow the directions of your parents and your teachers, it'll help you, it'll keep you safe, and it'll help everybody.
That's great. Jacob, the 7th grader from East Greenwich, asks, how much smaller is the grouping of people going to get? I'm a party of 5, Jacob says.
So thank you, Jacob, for your question. I come from a big family too, and I know how you might be feeling. I'm probably not going to go lower than 5. And if you have, some of you have families, you've told me, you said to me that your family is 6 or 7 or 8 people. That's okay. Here's the most important thing. I have a homework assignment for every kid who's listening, every adult too. I want you to start a journal. I want you to get a notebook and start a journal. At the end of every single day, I want you to write down all the people that you had contact with and all the places that you've been. By the way, you really shouldn't be going anywhere, but maybe if you go for a walk or go to the park, you can write that down. And so we want you to try to limit the number of people that you have contact with. And so if at the end of the day you've had contact with 5 people, write that down. If you have 6 or 7 people in your family, that's okay. Wash your hands often. If anyone gets sick, try to keep that person in one part of the house. But at the end of every day, write it down, and then just make sure you continue to hang out with the same small group of people and not a different group of people every day. But it's totally safe to be with your family. In fact, you should be with your family. This is a time for families to come together and help each other.
Okay, Molly, a first grader in Cumberland, asks, are a lot of people getting better from the virus?
Yes, Molly. The good news is most people are getting better. And the really good news is kids aren't getting very sick. So for the kids out there, I don't want you to worry about getting corona. I just don't worry about it. Let the adults in your life worry about it. It might happen. I can't promise you it won't happen. But we know that kids are doing pretty well with it. It's in children, for the most part, it's like getting sick or like getting the flu, and you're young and you tend to bounce back more quickly. The folks who we're more worried about are maybe your grandparents or your parents or your aunts or your uncles who are older. And those are the folks that we really have to take care of. But even they are getting better. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks. Sometimes they're going to go to the hospital. But even the ones who get sick for a long time or who go to the hospital, even they are getting better. And we have some of the best doctors and nurses in the world working right here in Rhode Island. So even if you get sick, chances are it's going to be just fine.
So speaking of people you're worried about, Caroline, who's a 6th grader that goes to a school in East Providence, asks, I'm worried about my bus driver, Ruth. She truly cares for each student and always keeps us safe in traffic, though through rare mechanical problems and in the everyday. I really miss seeing her, and I wonder how she'll be paid and cared for during this time of distance learning. I'm worried about that.
Yeah, so I'm worried about that too. I'm worried about Ruth too, and I'm worried about all the Ruths out there who don't have a job right now. And Ruth, if you're listening, I want you to know that we care about you, and we're going to make sure you get the help that you need and deserve. Here's what I can say. Unfortunately, there's a lot of adults who are out of work right now, but we're taking care of them. We are sending them special checks called unemployment insurance. We are making it so that those checks are bigger than they usually are. And we are helping people by giving them more money on their food stamp cards, and we're making sure that everyone can get medical care, even if they can't afford it. So pretty soon, Ruth's going to be back to work. Pretty soon, I don't know exactly when, everybody's going to be back to work. And for the next few months, while we go through this together, we're going to do what we can to make sure Ruth's okay. And we're going to take care of her, and we're going to take care of you. And if you miss talking to her, and you miss seeing her smile, but try really hard to find somebody else you can talk to every day. Maybe it's on the phone, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your teacher, maybe it's your family. Maybe you can figure out a way to find Ruth on social media and stay in touch with her. Or maybe you need to call that helpline that I said. But find an adult that you can talk to, and definitely make sure you get your questions answered.
I think it's awesome. Caroline is concerned about others beyond her own family. That's a great example. So Sophia, who's an 8th grader at a school in Pawtucket, asks, what are you doing to make sure people in jails are safe from the coronavirus?
So we're going to keep everybody safe, and I mean everybody. So if you have somebody you love who's in jail, we're taking care of that person too. Just today, actually, I announced that for people who were in jail for things that weren't violent and who were going to be able to be released within 90 days, we're going to go ahead and let them go home so they can be with their families. That gives us some more space in the prison, so we can space everybody out. If we keep a distance, then fewer people get contagious. And we have really good doctors in the prison system. I've been talking to them myself, and so far, everything's going fine there. And so if you have someone you know or love in the jail, you don't worry, because we're going to make sure that they are safe and healthy and well cared for and get to see a doctor if they do get sick.
All right, now, Gina, here's the question from Kevin. He's a third grader in Warwick. He's a very pointed question. He says, first of all, he says, Gina, I have some questions for you. So, way to go, Kevin.
Lay it on me, Kevin.
All right, he has questions and advice. So
Okay.
First, the question.
Oh, okay.
Question number one. Are there any open businesses in Rhode Island, and how well will businesses do after this pandemic? I'm going to pause on the advice.
Kevin, I think you might be a big, successful businessman when you grow up, because that's a fantastic question. The answer is yes, there are businesses open, but not as many as I would like. The grocery stores are open. Some of the big stores are still open, CVS, Walmart, Target. Lots of businesses that where we have what we call essential workers, healthcare workers, nursing homes, doctors' offices, they're all still open. Manufacturers are still open, which I'm really happy about because they're still making things. But, so what I'm trying to do is keep as many, here's the name of the game. We're trying to keep as many businesses open as possible as long as we can do it safely. Every single decision I make, I say to myself, can we do this safely? Can you keep your business open safely? So unfortunately, I've had to close a lot of businesses, and I hate doing that. Barbershops, hairdressers, spas, nail salons, movie theaters, clothes shops, so many businesses, restaurants, bars. And the reason I had to do that is because I didn't think we could keep you safe if I kept them open. Because there were too many people going in there all bunched up together. And when that happens, the virus spreads too quickly, and we wouldn't be able to get our arms around it and keep everybody safe. But here's the thing. Someday soon, they're all going to be open again. We're helping them get from here to there. I spend a lot of time, Kevin, on the phone with bankers and other business people and the federal government and the president of the country, trying to get money from them that I can give to these small businesses, so these small businesses can wait it out until one day soon they'll all be open again. So we're doing the best we can, and it's going to be tough, and I'm really sorry if your mom or your dad isn't working right now, but pretty soon they will be, and between now and then we're going to do our best to take care of everybody.
All right, so now that you've answered Kevin's question, he has some advice for you. He
Okay.
says, here's some advice. Gina, wear workout clothes like my mom does every day at work.
Okay.
So
I'll take that. I wore jeans today, Kevin. Today, I wore jeans for you. Maybe tomorrow I'll wear a sweatsuit to my press conference.
Kevin, if you see the governor doing aerobics in the press conference on Monday, or some kind
then
of
you'll know it's a real crisis
Absolutely.
in Rhode Island.
Kevin from Warwick will be responsible. Okay, thank you, Kevin. All right, let's go to Burrillville. All
Okay.
right, Colin's 11th grader from Burrillville. He says, what are you doing to protect the well-being of our first responders in the state of Rhode Island? Playing such an essential role on the front line,
Yeah.
first responders.
Thank you, Colin. And maybe you have somebody in your family who is a police officer, firefighter, a nurse, a doctor. And if so, I want you to say thank you to them from me. I want you to tell them thank you from the governor, because what they're doing is so, so, so important. They have a really important job right now. They always do, but right now, really important. So we're going to keep them safe. The bottom line is, some people have to go to work. All those people I just said. My brother's a doctor. He goes to work every day. I have to go to work every day. Lots of people, therapists, nurses, doctors, police officers, men and women in the National Guard. Lots of people still have to go to work. So we're going to keep them safe. What does that mean? If you're with people who might have the coronavirus, then we're going to keep you safe. We're going to give you gloves and masks and gowns and goggles to make sure they don't get the virus. So if you're a nurse in a hospital right now or a police officer and you have to be with somebody who might be sick, we're going to get you all the equipment you need, like a mask and a goggle, so you don't get sick. And we are also, I'm in touch with these people all the time to make sure we're doing everything we can to keep these folks safe. So we need them, we're proud of them, and we are keeping them safe. We're going to make sure they don't get sick even though they have to go to work.
All right, let's go down to the southern part of the state. Amanda, who's an 8th grader in a school in Richmond, asks, what's your plan, Governor, to accommodate more coronavirus patients, and in particular, how to compensate for their hospital bills?
Yes, thank you, Amanda. It's a really smart question. So I'm going to be honest with you. I have kids of my own, and I think they can handle tough news, so I'm going to be very honest with you. There's going to be a lot of people in the hospital, and I can't stop that. I really wish I could stop that, but I can't stop that. I know there's going to be a lot of people in the hospital. Not lots of kids, but lots of older people. So since I know that, and I can't stop it, I'm preparing for it. Right now, I have whole teams of people setting up new hospitals. I have doctors and engineers, architects, something called the Army Corps of Engineers, building new hospitals and making it so that we can have thousands of extra beds just in case we need them. I hope we don't need thousands, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And so you don't worry about that. When people start to get sicker, we're going to make sure every single one of them can see the doctor, can go to the hospital, and there's going to be a place for them. And don't worry about whether they can afford it. We're going to take care of that too. Right now, I don't want people worried about, I can't afford my hospital bill, I can't afford to see the doctor, I can't afford to get a test for corona. You just take a deep breath. We're going to handle that. There's extra money coming from the federal government. I'm finding extra money all over the place every day. We're going to do our very best to make sure everyone who needs to see a doctor can see a doctor, and it doesn't matter if you can afford it.
That's beautiful. It's great. Really important message. All right, Sky, also down in South County. Sky is a 2nd grader in Charlestown. She asks, can we still play at school playgrounds and outdoor activity areas? Good question, Sky.
It's a really good question. It's really hard to be cooped up in the house. Trust me, I know it. We are cooped up, and our kids are in our house too, and we are all kind of getting a little itchy. But yeah.
You?
So
we're getting a little itchy. Yes.
So you can definitely go outside. Definitely go outside. You should go outside every day. Every kid should go outside for some time every day. Just go for a walk around the block, go running, go on your skateboard, take a bike ride, go throw the ball in the backyard, do whatever you want to do. Get outside every day, at least for a little while. Try to do a little exercise every day, inside or outside. Get some of that energy out. I don't care what you do. Jumping jacks, push-ups. Some schools are doing push-up challenges. Figure something out. Get something going with your friends. Challenge each other. Just have some fun with it. You could go to the park. You can go to the park, but I want to give you some really specific instructions about the park.
Yeah.
I want everybody to listen to me about the parks. If you go to the park, go with 1 or 2 other people who you live with. I don't want to see you at the park with 5 or 6 of your friends. Go with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, maybe 1 friend, the same, on that list of 5 people. Pick your people that you're going to be with every day, and go to the park with that 1 or 2, maybe 3 people. I really don't want you touching the stuff at the park. Now, I can hear you saying, what fun is that? I can't you go on the jungle gym or the slide or whatever. It's really not safe for you to do that right now. You can play tag, you can run around. If you do, by accident, touch some of the equipment, I need you to go home right away and wash your hands for 30 seconds, or squirt some of the hand sanitizer on your hands right away, because coronavirus is a germ. It's germs, and the germs stick to things. They stick to everything. They stick to everything. They stick to the chair, to the table, to the gym equipment, to the slides, to the stuff in your house. So you need to wash your hands constantly, because the way people are getting sick is they touch the germs and then they touch their face. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing I need you guys to do. Try not to touch your face. It's really hard. The average person touches their face dozens of times a day. So that's a challenge I'll give you. You guys are smart, you're creative. Come up with creative ways and share them with me around how you can avoid touching your face. See what you guys can come up with. Be as creative as possible.
I'm distracted and thinking about ways. But on the hand washing, I know that we can all pick up that habit. I saw a video yesterday online of an orangutan who'd been sitting watching the zookeepers who were watching the orangutan, and the orangutan was washing his hand because he had seen the zookeepers washing their hands so frequently. So all of us, including myself, need to learn that habit of looking around, watching what the rest of us are doing, and following that example. So kids, wash your hands. Let's be safe everywhere. All right, so let's go to Aiden in Cranston.
Okay,
all right,
let's do
Aiden's
it.
a 10th grader in a high school in Cranston. He says, Governor, not Gina. So Governor, you said you'll be distance learning until at least May 1st. How will you know it's safe for us to go back to school at that time?
Really, really good question, and there's no easy answer. I wish Aiden and I had a crystal ball to make all these decisions and to know when that magic date was going to be. So the honest answer is I'm going to figure it out when I get there. Here's the things I'm going to look at. How many people are getting sick every day in Rhode Island? How many people are going to the hospital every day in Rhode Island? Do we have an ability to reopen school and make sure that the schools are cleaned constantly so you guys are safe? How's distance learning going? If distance learning is going really well and you're still learning, then that lets me think that maybe I could keep doing the distance learning and I don't have to take the safety risks of opening schools again. So the reason I closed school in the first place is that this virus is really contagious. It spreads really fast. And if you have 20 or 30 kids all in one classroom, it's pretty much impossible to prevent the disease from spreading all around the school quickly. So that's why I closed it in the first place. And before I can decide to reopen, I would have to make sure we can keep you safe, keep you far enough apart from one another, make sure we clean all the surfaces every single day, all the time, and make sure that too many kids won't get sick.
All right, now here comes the tough ones from Thomas, who's a kindergartner in Cumberland. And this is, on the minds of, I think, a lot of kids right now with the holiday season coming up. He asks, is the Easter Bunny quarantined?
Thomas, I would never quarantine the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny is an essential worker and is not quarantined. So, and also, bunnies can't get the coronavirus. So the Easter Bunny's coming to you this year. He can't get sick, and I hope you have a really happy Easter.
I did not know that.
Yeah, now you know.
Okay.
Now you know.
Angel, a 5th grader who goes to a school in Pawtucket, asks, now, why are we staying home to be safe and our parents have to work? You address this. As I see it, there's so many ways you can get affected. So why don't you close all the jobs that are not doing anything for this crisis?
Yeah, thank you, Angel. I wish it were that easy. I wish it were that easy, but some people need to go to work. If your mom or your dad works in a grocery store, we need them to keep going to work so everybody can eat. If your mom or your dad is a police officer or a nurse or works in the government or a doctor. We need them to keep going to work so they can take care of everybody else. And if that is your mom and dad, you should be really proud of them. Your mom and dad is a hero right now, really a hero. They get up every day, work really hard for you and for the rest of us to keep everybody going. So tell your mom and your dad I said thank you for their hard work. But I want you to know this. We're going to keep your mom and dad safe. You know, I have to go to, my kids have a mom that goes to work every day. But I'm going to keep myself safe, and I'm going to keep your mom and dad safe. And even when folks get sick, we're going to take care of them too. So say thanks to your mom and dad. Be a little extra good. Do what they tell you to do. That's what you can do in this crisis to help your mom and dad get through it.
And it's a chance for all of us to thank those who are working every day. And just take a small way. If you happen to be out, parents, to the grocery store, make sure you thank the folks who are working there, who are stocking the shelves, who are bringing deliveries to your house, who are working in healthcare facilities and the like. It's pretty extraordinary. I mean, the work that goes on every day, 365, we see it now. We really need to celebrate because we're all in this together. Macy, an 11th grader in North Smithfield, asks the question that a lot of juniors and seniors in high school have on their minds. Who decides if events like prom and graduations are canceled because of the coronavirus?
Yeah.
And if they are canceled, how would the situation be handled?
Okay, Macy, this is a tough one, and I've gotten a lot of these. So I want to take a half a second to talk to all the kids who are class of 2020. I'm really sorry. This stinks. This is not the senior year you hope to have. You wanted to go to the prom, you were going to be the captain of your sports team, you were going to have a spring party, spring fling, whatever you had planned, and all of a sudden I'm telling you, sorry, you can't have that. I can't sugarcoat that, that stinks. And if I were you, I'd be so bummed out. And I get it that you're disappointed. It's really unlikely that we're going to be able to allow you to have your proms in the same way that you thought you might have a prom, that you're going to have the end of year sports banquets or award ceremonies or even graduations. But I promise you this, we're going to find new ways to celebrate you and your accomplishments and make sure that you have some fun. And it'll be special. Class of 2020 forever. You guys are going to come up with some really fun things to do. Not the typical prom that we went to.
By the way, our prom pictures, we look back at them from the 80s. We didn't go together, different people, are pretty embarrassing. So you may have better things to
His were embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's true. Mine are really embarrassing. But.
No, but seriously, it's not going to be like you hoped. It's not going to be what you were planning for. And the reason is because I don't know how long this is going to last, but I do know that for a while, being in big groups of people close together is just not going to be safe. So we'll figure it out. Send me your ideas. Come on, think of some cool ways we can celebrate. We can have a different kind of prom. We're definitely going to figure out interesting ways to have graduations. We're going to have to figure it out together. We'll make it fun. But I don't want to give you a false hope, because probably not is the answer to, are you going to have big dances, big proms, etc.?
Ismail, who's a third grader at a school in Pawtucket, asks, what can we do, what can kids do to make people take this more seriously and stay home?
Really good question. Okay, here's what you can do. If you see people not following the orders, tell an adult. So if you go to the park and you see lots and lots of kids or adults bunched up in groups, close together, tell an adult in your life, because that'll help us keep everybody safer. You can do your very best job on distance learning. Make this work. Help us make this work. So if you need extra help from your teacher, go ahead and ask for extra help. If it means you have to spend a little more time doing your homework because it's a little harder to figure it out since you can't be with your teacher every day, then spend a little extra time. But if you help us to make this distance learning a success, that helps everybody.
Yeah.
Keeps everybody safe, and it helps you too. It'll help you to be the smartest, best that you can be.
So Rosemary, who's a 12th grader in Johnston, asked, there are rumors regarding the repeating of this school year. Is that true, Governor?
Not going to happen. I will not let it happen. You're not repeating this year. But I need you to be serious about distance learning. So here's the deal, guys. We don't want you to, I'm not going to let you repeat. We're not, if you're in 6th grade now, you're going to 7th grade next year. But, and if you do all your schoolwork. I'm talking to you teenagers out there. This is school. It doesn't mean you get out of bed at 11. It means you get up, regular time, get ready for school, and do your schoolwork. This isn't vacation. This isn't time to chill out at home. This is school, real school. Do your work. Work as hard and as serious as you would as if you were in real school. If you guys do that, then you won't be, I won't even have to think about making anybody repeat another year. So help me out here. I made a big decision. I need you to do your part and work your tail off, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're sick of being in your bedroom doing your work. Put your all into it, and you'll get the most out of it too if you do that.
And by the way, for those high school seniors going to college next year, which I know is many of you, which is fantastic, including those who are going through the Rhode Island Proms program, this is great preparation because next year in college you're going to be on your own a lot more. You are independent. A lot of colleges are blending the instruction, some of it online, distance learning, some of it in person, and so this is one way to take a step to prepare for that college education and be ahead of some of the other states like Gina just said, actually haven't had this experience. That's lemonade on lemons right there.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, good. Michael, who's an 8th grader from Warren, asks, with all this is going on right now with COVID-19, how can people with mental illnesses get the help that they need?
So thank you, Michael, for that question. There's a lot of people with, as you say, mental illnesses, and lots of kids, lots and lots of kids struggle with anxiety, anger, sadness, depression, suicidal thoughts, substance abuse. So if you're one of those kids, you're definitely not alone. There's thousands and thousands of kids just like you, feeling just what you're feeling. And so that's why we're working overtime to make sure you can get the help you need. At the beginning, I mentioned something called Kids Link. Call them, check it out, Kids Link. They will figure out a way to get you the help that you need, to get you the right person to talk to. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, don't be embarrassed, don't think you're alone. Just, we want you to get the help you need. I spend every day, all day, lining up teams of adults to make sure we're there for you guys. Teachers, nurses, therapists, social workers, doctors, people in the National Guard, everybody. We're on it. We're on it for you. So check out Kids Link, and they will figure out a way to get you the help that you need to help get you and your family through this.
Yeah, and it's true for adults too. It's okay. All of us have, feelings of anxiety, stress, depression. It's only more so now, particularly if you're cooped up in the house. So set the example for your kids and your relatives. It's okay to not feel okay, and reach out for the help and talk about it, because we all need that kind of help.
Yes, so for adults, we have BH Link. That number is 414-LINK, 414-LINK. It's called BH Link, Behavioral Health Link. So if you're an adult and you need to talk to somebody or you need mental health services, call that number. I want to say one other important thing. We've also made it, I did an executive order so that all medical services can be delivered by the phone and be covered by insurance. It's what we call telehealth. So normally, you might go in and sit with a doctor or sit with a therapist or go to the office of a social worker. You can't really do that now because of Corona. So what we've said is if you talk to them on the phone or if you Skype with them or Zoom with them or FaceTime, your insurance company must cover that, including Medicaid. That's the law. I made that the law, so don't let anybody tell you differently. So get the care that you need and don't worry about paying for it.
That's great. So Rowan is a fifth grader down on Aquidneck Island in Portsmouth, asks, will the bike paths be shut down?
No, I do not plan to shut the bike paths down, so go for a bike ride and have fun.
Okay, so Will, who's a pre-K student from Narragansett, pre-K, pretty impressive.
Smart kid.
Nice job, Will. Okay, will the coronavirus be over by the summer so that I could go to the beach? This is a kid from Narragansett. It's a perfect question.
Oh, I really hope so. I love to go to the beach too, Will. Maybe I'll see you down there. The coronavirus will not be over by the summer, but we'll be smarter about how to deal with it. And I'm really hoping you're going to be able to go to the beach. There'll be new rules, different rules, and I don't exactly know what they will be, but I bet you're going to be able to go swimming this summer, and I hope I see you there.
All right, let's go to Providence. Justin, a seventh grader from Providence, says, how are we helping the homeless during this time?
Thank you, Justin. I hope no one in your family is homeless, but if they are, we're going to take care of them. And by the way, if you need help, or if any of you kids need special help, let me know. The same way you got to me with your questions, if someone's homeless, if someone's really sick, if there's some kind of an emergency, send me an email. Hey, Gov, I need a hand. And we'll do our best to take care of you. We're doing a lot for the homeless. We're doing a lot for the homeless. We're raising lots of money to help them, make sure that they get the food they need, the shelter they need. It's never enough, and this is a super hard time for anybody who's doesn't have enough money to make ends meet. So we're going to work extra hard to make sure that everybody gets taken care of. Wyatt's a third grader in East Providence, and Wyatt asks, what are you doing to get PPE, like masks and other types of equipment for doctors like my uncle, or frankly, doctors like your brother? Yeah, thank you, Wyatt. So my brother's a doctor. I have lots of nurses in my family, and I worry about them. You, just like you, worry about your dad or your uncle. And it's normal to worry, but we have the supplies. I spend every day, all day, on the phone getting supplies from all over the world. I've talked to businesses in China, India, California, Canada, Mexico, everywhere, making sure that your families and all these doctors and nurses are protected. So right now, we have over 5 million masks on their way to Rhode Island. So everybody's going to be taken care of, and everyone who needs a mask is going to get the mask that they need to have to stay safe.
And Wyatt, I can tell you that, I tried to say, Gina, time for bed. We got to go to bed. You need to rest. And she said, no, I've got another call with China right now. We need to get more masks. And so she and her team are really working around the clock to find things all over the world. And what's amazing, too, is the number of people who are raising their hand to say, how can we help?
Yes.
And what are the ways in which I can do the small part or the big part that I can do. So thank you to all those people who are doing it.
Actually, there's a school in West Warwick. I want to say thank you. They figured out a way to use 3D printing to start to make some supplies that we need. You guys are fantastic, and I would throw that challenge out to everybody. Get creative. It's a crazy time, and if anyone's going to find interesting creative solutions, it's you guys.
All right, Gina, we got time for two
Okay,
questions
let's do
left
it.
here. Okay. Rachel, who's a third grader in Barrington, asks, how are the kids staying safe at Hasbro Children's Hospital? Since the cafeteria is closed, how are parents and families getting food for themselves? And how can the kids in Rhode Island help those kids and their families?
Yeah, it's a good question. At Hasbro, we have some of the very best doctors and nurses in the whole world. And they know exactly what they're doing, and they're making sure everybody's safe. So it's different. The cafeteria is not open, and so they're having to do things differently. But I promise you, they're safe, they have the equipment they need, they have the medicine they need, they know what they're doing, and that's something I understand that you're worried about it, but there's a lot of people and resources on the issue, and we're going to keep everybody safe.
That's great. And final question from Carter, who's a fifth grader in North Kingstown. He asks, an important question to end on, is there a chance of kids getting the coronavirus?
Yeah, so there is a chance. I can't promise you won't get it, but kids aren't getting very sick from coronavirus. So hopefully you don't get it.
And please do everything that your parents, your teachers, the governor, and everyone has suggested to avoid getting it, because not only will you get sick, but you have potential to, in fact, other people getting sick.
It's true. It's true. I'm more worried about your mom, your dad, your grandparents, because if they get it, they may get sick. But for you and for all the kids who are listening, kids are doing okay with this. Kids are not getting nearly as sick. So you probably won't get it. You're probably not going to get it. And if you do get it, you might not even know you have it. It'll be like getting a cold or getting a sore throat. You'll be in bed for a few days and bounce right back. So that's something that I really take that off your list of things to worry about. So I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you for your terrific questions. Keep them coming. Keep washing your hands and do the best you can to have some fun. Go outside and do what your parents and your teachers say.
And do whatever else you can do to take care of your family. Think about one of the questions we heard today of just thinking about the bus driver, Ruth, of who else you can take care of, who you can think of, because, in a state like ours, Rhode Islanders take care of Rhode Islanders, and it's great to see kids, 13,000 kids being so interested, and so keep them coming. We'll hope we can do this again sometime.
You guys are great. Thank you.
Bye.